Got a pretty interesting video for you guys, as in today's video, I'm going to be predicting my next 5 World Series matchups. Now for the 5 matchups, I'm not going to be including this year, so these are going to be spanning from 2023 to 2027. Also want to let you guys know that I'm going to butcher a lot of these prospects' names, so don't get on me too much. So with that in mind, let's hop right into the video. Getting things started off with the 2023 World Series, I have the Dodgers taking down the Blue Jays. The Dodgers are a powerhouse. They're about as complete of a team as you're going to find in baseball. And to be completely honest, I wouldn't even be surprised if they won the World Series this year, as they have the best record in the league. This team is built to compete now and in the future. The Walker Buehler injury is going to be a big blow for LA, but I think they have pitching prospects on the way who could make a big impact next year. Gavin Stone and Bobby Miller are both 23 years old, and it looks like they're going to be ready for the big leagues any day now, so I think if they even get some big league experience this year, they could have a huge impact next year down the stretch. And if they have a healthy Freddie Freeman, Trey Turner, and Mookie Betts to go along with that dominant pitching staff, I think they have a legit shot at the World Series. Now for the Blue Jays, obviously I have them losing this World Series, but I think they're going to get there next year with the powerhouse offense that they have to go along with a pretty solid starting rotation. Toronto is going to come close to winning a World Series next year, but I don't think they're quite going to take it, as I have the Dodgers winning the 2023 World Series. Getting on to the 2024 World Series, I have the Tampa Bay Rays taking down the San Diego Padres. Tampa Bay has had a competitive window for a couple years now, and I think 2024 is going to be the year they finally get the illustrious World Series ring. The Rays are notorious for competing with a very low payroll and not the most talented roster in the world. And by 2024, I think Wander Franco is going to be one of the best players in baseball. He might even be the best player in baseball, and I think they have a couple prospects who are going to have a big impact. Taj Bradley and Curtis Mead have not hit the big leagues yet, but obviously by 2024, I think they're going to do so and make a big impact on Tampa Bay. The Rays front office is just too good not to get a World Series ring out of this window they have, and like I said, I think 2024 is going to be their year. As for the Padres, Fernando Tatis Jr. and Juan Soto are going to be playing their first full season together, and I think they're going to dominate. Now, they did basically just give up their whole farm system to acquire Juan Soto, but I mean, Juan Soto is still 23 years old. Like, he's still the same age as some prospects, and Fernando Tatis Jr. is not much older. So when you have two of some of the best young stars in baseball, I think a lot can go right for San Diego, but unfortunately, I think they're going to come up just short. Getting on to 2025, I have the Atlanta Braves taking down the Baltimore Orioles. This is a World Series matchup that I would love to see. It would be so exciting, and there would be lots of stars that really haven't even seen the big leagues yet today. Now, the Braves are an obvious pick here because they have a lot of their core locked up on team-friendly deals. Like, they're a really good team this year who could very well win the World Series, and they're still relatively young, and they have all of them locked up, so in 2025, most of these players are still going to be in their prime. So I think the Braves are going to be a lock to win at least 1, maybe 2 World Series out of the next 5. Now for the Orioles, the pain and suffering is finally over. They're one of the most exciting teams in baseball today, and going forward, they have one of the brightest futures as well. MLB just came out with their mid-season prospect rankings, and the Orioles have the best farm system in baseball. They have players like Gunnar Henderson, Grayson Rodriguez, Jackson Holliday, and Colton Cowser. And they also have some pretty good young talent on their major league roster, as Adley Rutschman has emerged as one of the best catchers in baseball this year. He's had a huge impact on the Orioles this season, and going forward, I would not be surprised to see him blossom into one of the best players in baseball. So while I don't have the Orioles winning the World Series in 2025, they're going to be around for a while, and they're going to be one of the best teams for a long time. Moving on to 2026, I have the Cleveland Guardians taking down the LA Dodgers. Even this season, the Guardians are competing with the youngest roster in baseball. So a good team who has lots of prospects on the way is a recipe for success. They have some really good young offensive bats in Steven Kwan and Andres Gimenez. And looking at their pitching, their starting rotation today is probably still going to be at or near their prime in 2026, as they have players like Tristan McKenzie, Shane Bieber, and Cal Quantrill. And we can't forget about Emmanuel Clase, who is really young but really, really good. Put that together with some more young prospects on the way in Daniel Espino and Jorge Valera, and they're going to have a really good team in 2026. As for the Dodgers, we already know that they're built to compete now and for the future. They have one of the best farm systems in baseball today, so I think they're built to last, and I think they're going to make it to the World Series this year, but unfortunately, I don't have them winning, as the Guardians are going to take the 2026 World Series. And finally, getting on to 2027, I have the Baltimore Orioles taking down the Arizona Diamondbacks. At this point, we're so far into the future that I'm pretty much just basing my picks off of who has the brightest future and best farm system today. And the Orioles are a pretty good bet considering they're a really good baseball team right now with lots of young talent on the way. Now, I mentioned Adley Rutschman earlier and how good he is in his rookie season. And by 2027, he's going to be right in the middle of his prime, and I would not be surprised if he was one of the best players in baseball at this point. You also have to look at players like Gunnar Henderson and Grayson Rodriguez, who are going to be right in the middle of their prime as well. And they're also most likely going to have Jackson Holliday, who was this year's #1 overall pick in the big leagues at this point. He's going to be 23 years old at this time, and he could be one of the best young bats in the league. Now for the Diamondbacks, they're not necessarily a great major league team today, but by 2027, I think they're going to be legit. They have one of the top prospects in the game today in Corbin Carroll, who's most likely going to make his debut next season. And they also have Jordan Lawler, who by 2027 is going to be pretty much entering his prime as well and could very well be one of the best players in the game. And they also have their first round draft pick this year in Drew Jones, who is definitely going to be in the big leagues and is very likely going to be a really good player. So by 2027, I think the Diamondbacks are going to be a powerhouse. I think they're going to have a lot of talent on this team by then, and I think they're going to be competing year in and year out, but unfortunately I have them coming up just short as they lose to the Orioles in the 2027 World Series. So there you have my next 5 World Series matchups. Let me know what you guys think down below and who you have in the World Series over the next 5 years. As always, I want to thank you guys again so much for watching and continuing to support, and I'll see you next time.